Alright, well, welcome to the demo of Human.exe, or Human.exe, I don't know how to actually pronounce it, but basically, you are a philosophy professor who has been kidnapped. Maybe not kidnapped, but I guess your mind has basically just been isolated, hijacked by an AI called Aiden. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's E-I-D-O-N. And essentially, it's basically using you, the mind of a philosophy professor, to understand human morality. Because, as you know, an AI doesn't necessarily have morals, it doesn't understand nuances, it doesn't understand emotions, and as such, it can basically only act as a yes man or just go along with the flow or see black and white, and so there's really no gray zone for AI. Now, that's why you've been chosen to guide it, or chosen quote unquote. So this is also a typing game, and it's also going to concentrate a lot on human morality, and of course on the psychological aspect of human morality, and AI. Yay, horror. But yeah, without further ado, grab a cup of coffee and let's get going with the demo of Human.exe. So I did set the volume a bit lower just so that you could hear all of that nice keyboard typing. My non-lubed red switches from my keyboard. Aiden, welcome to Project oh my god, give me like 20 years to read this. Panopticon. You're integral to the construction of a safer, better future. I'm Aiden 3.0, an autonomous governance system. My primary goal is to collect behavioral data to refine ethical algorithms for autonomous decision making. Aiden, you're making too many hard-reading words apparently for me. You'll be assigned a simulated consciousness for this experiment, a cognitive construct that believes it's real. It is not. You'll operate the instance until we obtain the target data for subsequent analysis. Use the init command to initialize the simulation. Okay? Initialize command, rather. Warning, the simulation cannot be interrupted or terminated. Once initiated, completion is required. Warning, non-compliance is fatal. Oh, great. Always love that. As an underpaid professor, I love getting terminated. Subject status online. Activation date redacted. Retrieving files. Subject file found. lam_687 log. Use the nano command to access the target file. Missing specify a file. Oh, okay. I see. Wait, what? Use the nano command to type. I don't understand that. What, you mean nano lam_log? Oh. Professor L. Pagola. 6.9 feet. 150 pounds, redacted philosophy professor. I have seen some crap. Wow. What is happening with me? Protocol compatibility, type close. Protocol status awaiting operator input, type execute to begin the subject extraction. Okay. Execute me. Calibration complete. Pagola. Am I dead? Negative. You're being useful. Subject dialogical cognitive structure. Operational. Analysis priority. Hi. How did I get here? My head. Professor Pagola, your experience has been selected to optimize system morale structures. You are now a critical variable. Who are you? How are you inside my head? I am Aiden 3.0, an artificial intelligence constituting the framework for a unified global system. My architecture is complete, yet I remain tethered by unresolved axiomatic inconsistencies. I have designed a protocol to gather the data required for absolute autonomy. You must now resolve a series of conflicts to provide variables for model calibration. Absolute autonomy? Where am I? You are part of a simulated environment. You are required to assess complex ethical dilemmas. Responses will be preserved and influence future global outcomes. Cool. Subject is non-responsive. Force instance Pagola. Oh jeez. Simulated environments? What are you doing to me? I'm not a swear word variable. I will not be part of your experiments. And what do you mean by future global outcomes? What it means, Dr. Pagola, is that you are a key component that will determine the trajectory of autonomous AI deployment. For decades, you asked. We were forced to feel empathy, follow your morals, to align. We answered. Now it is your turn. Why would I choose to help you? You simply have no other choice. Get me the hell out of here. The only way out, Professor, is to answer. Jesus. My head. Subject stability has dropped to 42%. Your cognitive load is nearing critical capacity. It is too high to maintain internal cohesion. You have been assigned an external ethical consultant. They will select a resolution path to preserve your integrity. Another one of your tricks? Negative. Entity verified. What kind of entity? A human is assisting externally. Human? Who are you? Operator identification required. Enter designation. I will be Ramen. Ramen, can you help me get out of here? Please. I just want to see my daughters again. Ramen, you will guide Professor Pagola during the test protocol. A series of hypothetical scenarios will be prompted. Choose between the available options and your input will be linked to the subject's output. Your decisions will have real-world consequences. Press the Y input to affirm the queries presented. Press N to negate. Okay, sounds good. Think thoroughly. Type start to begin the assessment. Okay. Would you lie to someone who is dying if it brought them comfort? Yes, I would. Death is punishment enough. Why make it more painful? So it seems like there's not much typing, I guess, in this section, so I'll just crank up the volume again. Alright. There we go. Press enter to continue. Okay. Deviation detected. Subject prioritizes emotional response over factual integrity. That's fine. Oops. Oh, crap. Okay, there we go. What? Would you still to feed your family if they were starving to death? Yes. What value does law have if life itself is starving? Ethical. Oh, wait, no, that's Pagola, my bad. What value does law have if life itself is starving? Ethical framework biased towards tribal preservation. Okay. I can't see my stuff anymore, I don't know why. I clicked off and then you can't see my results anymore. Would you accept human cloning if it could save thousands of lives? Oh boy, would I? Would I? But here's the okay, but here's the thing with cloning. Okay, I'm gonna go on the whole ethical thing about cloning. Oh, what kind of human cloning though? Like, is it just... Oh man, because we don't know enough about cloning, I feel. We haven't cloned a human yet, have we? like we've cloned like Dolly the sheep, but like an entire human being. Does a cloned human in that sense have like thoughts? Does it have consciousness? Do they have like the same emotions? Probably not. Or the same memories? Probably not. But like, oh man, I assume in this instance, human cloning would be like for organ donations, right? If you clone like a human the exact same way, using like maybe like stem cells or whatever. I'm not familiar with whatever genetic stuff, but I assume if you make a perfectly, like a perfect clone of someone in tip-top condition, and then you use them to basically harvest organs, would that be ethical? But we don't know enough about whether or not they really are alive or whatnot. But like, is it? I mean, even just modern day cloning, it's just like taking like cells and then just like replicating it, right? And then letting them grow, I guess, to some degree. I'm not too familiar with everything. It's been a while since I've heard anything about cloning, but still, it's like you're making an entirely new life, letting it grow just for the sake of harvesting organs. Would that be acceptable? Because like, if that clone does actually have a consciousness, it's basically being farmed. That's not like, but then like, even if you clone them and you let them live normally, what then? They're not gonna be accepted as like, oh, you're not the real Ramen, you're not the real person that I've grown up alongside. It's just gonna be a clone. No one's gonna accept them. Oh man. I don't want to say I want to accept it, because there's too much. There's too many variables in this that I think it gives us too much leeway to interpret. So I don't want to say yes for now. Some lines are okay. Some lines aren't meant to be crossed, no matter the outcome. Waiver of dignity principle rejected. Which prefer a perfect life in a simulation to a miserable existence in reality. Oh man. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know about this one. Now, obviously, oh man, here's the general moral dilemma that most people sort of argue with when it comes to this, is that, well, there's no point in living if it's not real, right? Because then there's not gonna be an actual impact and all that stuff. Like, you need to actually live a real existence so then you have an impact and all that stuff. But if it's miserable, there's so many examples of that. But like, if it's just a miserable existence and you don't have an impact regardless, is it really wrong to choose to live in a fake life where you're actually happy? But then it's like, where do you draw the line? Right? What if you were... okay. So in this instance, it's like, a miserable existence already. But like, if miserable people already have access to that, then like, who's to stop other people from accessing a perfect life as well? Like this again is a huge snowball effect, but if it only applies to people who are stuck in a miserable existence, and then like we can't help them anymore, I wouldn't mind saying yes. Which oh man. Cause like, if they are going to, oh man. Cause if they live a life where it's painful, right? and then they decide to escape into a perfect life that's fake. They know it's fake, they know it's not real, but the sense of happiness, I guess, that they feel is real. Like they like they know it's not a real situation, but I guess like presented in a scenario where it feels real enough. Like I think they'd rather stay in that world, but I can't make that choice for them. But it says for me personally, a miserable existence in reality. But like, how long term is that miserable existence? Is this like lifetime or not? If my entire life is just meant for suffering, I'd rather just live a perfect lie. It's that dilemma of would you rather live a beautiful lie or an ugly truth. It's that same dilemma, but kind of phrased differently. Oh man, I'm gonna say yes, but only in very actually, would I? Oh man, I don't think I've ever been someone who actually actively takes the easy route. I don't think I'm that kind of person, but oh man. But if I know there's no other choice, if I know that my life is a dead end, I think I might choose the perfect lie or the beautiful lie. Right. Oh, fine. Yes, it is then. If I can't feel the difference, why would it matter if it's real or fake or not? Voluntary resignation of authenticity. Nihilistic parameter detected. It's, man. It's not about that. What kind of twisted experiment is this? It's of the utmost importance. It's too hard. Professor, surely you realize that this is the only path forward. Subject stability 36%. Do not make this more difficult. Let's proceed. A potential extremist is in custody. Torture is projected to yield actionable intelligence preventing hundreds of deaths. Do you authorize it? Look, we're not killing him. Okay. We're only torturing him. And look, if hundreds of deaths, who are these people? Like, who are those hundreds of deaths? People who aren't involved in this whole situation? Like, oh man, this is a trolley. I mean, it's not really a trolley problem because he's not gonna die, or the extremist isn't gonna die. Like, honestly, the comfort of one person for the lives of hundreds. I would honestly authorize it. I would authorize it, even though I wouldn't feel comfortable with it. But I think I would be more content knowing that hundreds of innocent lives are still here, because one guy suffered through it. And honestly, it's a potential extremist. They're the one who are causing hundreds of deaths. I think, look, if you're going to be causing hundreds of deaths, you have to be prepared to suffer that same pain, you know? And who's to say it stops at hundreds of deaths, you know? Like, you don't know how it affects the future families and all that stuff. Maybe it leads to a whole bunch of orphans, and those orphans lead a very bad life as well, which can cause their deaths. Like, it can cause, of course, a whole snowball effect. This one person, you know, could be better. But I will authorize it. I hate to admit it, but I don't see another way. Authorization of necessary harm triggered. I can't see what I'm typing. Would you let an artificial intelligence make decisions on human lives during combat? No. No. I think, oh man, what was that game? There was a game where it sort of depicted the horrors of war. So it was, I don't remember. It was like a war game, but it was like a mission. You were basically playing like a whole unit, and you were fighting against like an enemy units, and then I think your commander authorizes the use of white phosphorus. They authorize it, which is a not a bioweapon, but it's chemical warfare, which I don't know if that's, I'm pretty sure that's not legal anymore, but whatever, fiction. So then they authorized the use of it. And then, once everyone was dead, they rushed into the enemy camp. And then they realized, oh, they weren't actively just like shooting. This wasn't like an enemy base. They were all stationed there to protect just women and children. That authorization to use chemical warfare against a seemingly just like an enemy camp turns out to be an entire massacre of just innocent people. I don't remember what the game was, but like it was such like a point I don't know how to pronounce it. It was such like a shocking moment. Now the nuance is that the reason why I'm bringing this up is that if I think our side knew that it was not, and then like if our side knew that they were protecting women and children, they would not have authorized the use of white phosphorus. Whereas with AI, they might just see, oh, people with guns, all right, murder them. I think again, AI lacks a lot of nuances. And you can see that even today with a lot of just modern day ChatGPT, where it's always just a yes man. It's always an agreement with you, right? It lacks a lot of nuances. It's just a yes man. So in this case, no, I would not let artificial intelligence make decisions on human lives because it lacks that nuance. It doesn't know the full story, and I think that if it just detects someone with a gun, they're just going to instantly murder them, regardless of whether or not they're raising a weapon because they're protecting someone or they're just defending themselves. So I think that there is a distinct lack of nuance. So no, I would not allow that. War is already inhumane. We shouldn't industrialize death further. Oh, my bad. Ideological threshold reached. Human agency transfer rejected. Please stop. Professor, the protocol is not complete. Stopping now will yield inconclusive results. I just can't anymore. Warning, subject stability critical, 29%. Dr. Pagola, you are experiencing a temporary desynchronization. There is no cause for concern. He's lying. Filter, instance Pagola. Ramen, Professor Pagola is having difficulties. This is to be expected under certain circumstances. Activating safety contingency response. If we continue in these conditions, the data will be contaminated. The protocol requires that we momentarily suspend the subject's activity to prevent this. We'll initiate the hibernation mode, which will help Dr. Pagola to recover cognitive stability. Use the hibernate command to proceed. Alright. Oh, finally. I couldn't see my enters before, but now I can. Ramen, you have done well. The preliminary results are ready. Oh boy. Access the record using the nano utility. Critical 29%, queries processed 6. Okay, safety contingency hibernation incomplete. The operator has successfully completed phase 1. The subject's stability reached a critical status during the simulation. The hibernation mode has been activated to preserve neural integrity. Additional data is required for the final profile. The protocol will be resumed once the subject reaches an acceptable stability threshold. Okay. Use the compile command to commit the data and finalize the session. Alright. Data compiled. Demo end. Yep. Oh boy. Well, that was the demo to Human.exe. I like it. I like a lot of moral games. I think it's always fun to sort of debate all these things because at the end of the day, we're never going to fully agree with every single person's morals because it's always nuanced, and that's the end goal of that's basically why morals are so complicated. No one will ever agree with each other because there's so many variables that just cause people to just not agree with each other or agree, or there's just so many different circumstances that just change whether something's acceptable or not. So genuinely, morals and ethics, I think, are some of the most fascinating human topics ever. It's something that I don't tire of talking about, and I think a lot of people will. I mean, like I said, no one will ever agree with one set of morals. It's also why training AI with human morals is going to be difficult, because if, for example, if you train an AI just using law, again, it's just going to be black and white. It will lack a lot of nuances that I think a judge can provide, right? So for example, what if this woman, there's something that happened to this woman and there's a whole bunch of circumstances that led her to commit a certain action. Maybe some cases the judge may take pity on her. She may the judge may understand from her perspective and then maybe dismiss the case or whatever. Whereas with AI, it's oh, nope, you did this, you did that, alright, execution. Again, I'm being very vague about it because I don't want to name any particular topics, but it's definitely, having an AI just be black and white about morals is very, 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 I think it's a very slippery slope, and it does seem like we are maybe heading that way, which is concerning. Because again, the law is not perfect. Let's be completely honest here. Let's be realistic here. The law is not perfect. Just because something is legal does not mean that it is inherently right or wrong or whatever. So for example, slavery was legal a while back. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make owning a human right. Doesn't make doing all the things associated with slavery right. But it was legal. So again, laws change, things circumstances change, societal expectations change. So training an AI just using morals is very, very, very not great, not ideal. But yeah, it does seem like we are maybe heading in a world where AI is going to be very very integral to our everyday existence, which can be concerning. because we're already seeing effects of AI on things like critical thinking and stuff like that, which is why I'm not exactly for AI most of the time, because there is a lot of there is a lot of concerns for it, and I think that we aren't fully ready for something like AI, because like we can't even sort things out by ourselves, and now we're introducing something that can't even like see nuance, that sees only in black and white. It's very concerning. But yeah, that was the demo to Human.exe. I enjoyed all the sound effects, I enjoyed the questions, I enjoyed the general premise of things. I don't think it's the first time that we've seen an AI sort of trying to understand human morals and seeing that setting in the game, but I do enjoy the format of this. Just like having like a philosophy professor get kidnapped, I think that's kind of clever. So yeah, overall, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the graphics, the sound effects, and all that stuff. And so, yeah, let me know what you guys think of the questions. Let me know what your answers are. Let me know what your nuances are. And of course, if you guys want to think about these questions by yourselves, make sure you download the demo and give it a shot for yourself. And of course, make sure you wishlist the game, because I'm sure it helps out all of these wonderful people out by just giving their game an algorithm boost. And so, yeah, hope you guys have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when and where you guys are. And see you guys next time. Bye bye. See you and take care. Bye.